She's not in her usual pristine white and purple suit. No, this is different. She's clad in tattered crimson spandex, torn and shredded from a battle we can only begin to guess at. The fabric clings to her emerald skin, a testament to her raw power and resilience. Salt, or maybe stardust, mists her face, and thunder, real cosmic thunder, crackles around her, illuminating the scene in flashes of brilliant light. But what is she facing? What could possibly demand the presence of She-Hulk on a Viking ship in the middle of a cosmic hurricane? The answer is as big as a planet. Literally. Looming before them, eclipsing entire constellations, is Galactus, the Devourer of Worlds. His purple celestial armor is a monument to divine engineering, so vast it has its own gravitational pull. His horned helmet pierces the fabric of space-time, his eyes glowing with the hunger of 1 billion years. The sheer scale is impossible. The tiny, almost insignificant longship against the planet-sized god. Yet, She-Hulk shows no fear, not a trace. She's defiant. She plants her feet firmly on the splintering wood of the prow. A green goddess against a purple deity. The divine gale, whipped up by Galactus's mere presence, howls around her, threatening to tear the ship, and her, to pieces. But she stands unmoved. Then, with a casual, almost arrogant motion, she cracks her neck. The sound isn't just a pop. It's a deep, bone-rattling thrum that seems to momentarily silence the cosmic storm itself. It's the sound of power being unleashed, of a challenge being accepted. A slow, predatory smirk spreads across her lips. It's the look of someone who knows she is in a ridiculous situation, but is absolutely loving every second of it. It's pure, fourth-wall-breaking confidence. And then she speaks. She doesn't just talk. She shouts into the divine gale, her voice cutting through the cosmic thunder. A single point of green-skinned sarcasm against the crushing majesty of a god. Looks like the t-shirt's not the only thing that's torn tonight. What does that even mean? Is it a jab at her own shredded costume? A threat to tear Galactus's majestic armor apart? It's both. It's a perfect She-Hulk line. Witty, confident, and utterly disrespectful in the face of oblivion. And in that single moment, the entire epic, terrifying scene becomes something else. It becomes fun. But how did we get here? How did Jennifer Walters end up on a Norse longship in deep space, squaring off against the World Eater? The story has to be as wild as the image itself. Let's rewind. Our tale begins not in space, but in a dusty, forgotten corner of a New York City museum. Jen, in her lawyer guise, is attending a gala for the opening of a new exhibit, Relics of the Aesir. The centerpiece is a recently unearthed Viking longship, remarkably preserved, rumored to have belonged to a legendary crew who claimed to have sailed the cosmic rivers of Yggdrasil. Of course, a gala in the Marvel universe can't go uninterrupted. A group of Dark Elves, led by a disgraced lieutenant of Malekith, attacks the museum. They're not after gold or jewels, they're after the ship. They believe it's the key to navigating the hidden paths between the 9 realms, a way to bypass Asgard's defenses. A fight breaks out. Jen, of course, transforms into She-Hulk. But in the ensuing chaos, a desperate Dark Elf activates a runestone embedded in the ship's mast. There's a blinding flash of light, and when it fades, the entire museum hall is gone. She-Hulk, several terrified gala attendees, and the Dark Elves find themselves and the ship floating not on the Hudson River, but in a swirling vortex of cosmic energy. The ship, it turns out, is Bifrost-powered. It's a magical vessel designed to sail the cosmos. The Dark Elves are thrilled. She-Hulk is just annoyed. Her favorite crimson gala dress is already ruined. What follows is a cosmic chase. She-Hulk has to protect the civilians and stop the elves from using the ship for their nefarious purposes. They careen through stunning, dangerous cosmic landscapes. They skim the fiery rings of Muspelheim, dodge the frozen comets of Jotunheim, and nearly get sucked into a black hole near Svartalfheim. Through it all, She-Hulk proves she's more than just a brawler. She's a quick-thinking leader, using her strength and legal mind in tandem to outsmart her foes. She jury-rigs the ship's magical rigging, navigates by star charts that look like constellations she's never seen, and generally holds everything together with sheer force of will. but their chaotic journey through the cosmos doesn't go unnoticed. All this Bifrost energy, this uncontrolled travel between realms, acts like a dinner bell. A very, very loud dinner bell, and it attracts the attention of the hungriest being in the universe, Galactus. He appears without warning. One moment, they're dodging energy blasts from the Dark Elves. The next, everything stops. A shadow falls over them, a shadow so complete it blots out the entire universe. And then they see him. The sheer, overwhelming presence of Galactus freezes everyone in their tracks. The Dark Elves, who just moments before were cackling about conquering realms, are now paralyzed with primal fear. Galactus isn't interested in the elves or the mortals. He's drawn to the ship. This vessel, pulsing with the ancient life-giving energy of the World Tree, is an anomaly, a rare and delicious appetizer before he moves on to the main course, whatever unsuspecting world is nearby. He raises a hand, a gesture that could unmake galaxies, preparing to simply absorb the ship and its energy. The civilians are screaming, the Dark Elves are weeping, and She-Hulk? She's had enough. She's been thrown across the universe, fought pointy-eared fanatics. Her dress is ruined, and now this giant purple space god wants to eat her ride home. This is where her patience runs out. She shoves the terrified Dark Elf leader aside, strides to the front of the ship, and plants herself on that dragon prow. This is the moment. The salt and thunder, the tattered crimson spandex, the defiant stand against a god. This is where she cracks her neck, lets that smirk play on her lips, and delivers that legendary line. The sound of her voice, so small and yet so audacious, seems to confuse Galactus for a nanosecond. He lowers his hand slightly, his cosmic gaze focusing on the tiny green creature who dares to mock him. Who is this being? This speck of defiance in a universe that has only ever shown him fear? And that's the opening She-Hulk needs. She doesn't try to punch him. What would be the point? Instead, she leaps, not at him but upwards towards the runestone on the mast that started this whole mess. She knows she can't beat him, but she can be a distraction. Drawing on her gamma-powered strength, she strikes the runestone, not with a controlled activation, but with a full-force, world-breaking punch. The result is an uncontrolled explosion of Bifrost energy. The ship lurches, not forward, but sideways, tearing a hole in reality itself. It's a desperate one-in-a-billion gamble. For a moment, they are everywhere and nowhere. They see flashes of alternate realities, of different versions of themselves. For a split second, Jen sees herself in a courtroom, then on a beach, then as part of the Fantastic Four. And then, with another gut-wrenching lurch, they're out. The cosmos around them is quiet. Galactus is gone. In the distance, a familiar blue and green marble hangs in the blackness. Earth. The ship, battered and drained of its power, is now just a piece of wood, drifting in orbit. The ending isn't a massive battle, but a rescue. The Fantastic Four, alerted to a strange object in high orbit, come to investigate in the Fantasticar. They find a Viking longship crewed by a very tired She-Hulk, a dozen traumatized but grateful partygoers, and a group of thoroughly humbled Dark Elves, now her prisoners. Back on Earth, as SHIELD cleans up the mess and Reed Richards marvels at the Bifrost-powered ship, Sue Storm hands Jen a blanket. "Tough night?" she asks. Jen looks at her torn crimson dress, thinks of the cosmic storm and the planet-sized god, and a slow smile spreads across her face. "You have no idea," she says, "but you know what, it was kind of fun." That's the heart of She-Hulk. No matter how cosmic the threat, how dire the situation, she never loses her humor, her confidence, or that little spark of chaos that makes her one of the most unique heroes in the universe. She faced down a god, and her first thought was a witty comeback. And that's why we love her. Thanks for watching, everyone. What's the most insane crossover you can imagine? Let me know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this cosmic tale, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more. Until next time.